What is going on, everybody? I'm back making another video, and in today's video we're going to be doing a tier list of all the abilities in Blade Ball. I've done one of these videos before, back when the game was almost brand new, like 3.5 weeks ago, and there's been like 7 or 8 new abilities since then, plus the meta has changed a ton. A bunch of the existing abilities have been buffed and nerfed, so it's time for an updated tier list. And by the way, I had some help with this tier list. I asked some other pros that have thousands of wins, and we worked through looking at what a lot of the top ranked players use. So yeah, here is my ultimate tier list for Blade Ball. So let's get started. So first off, we're going to start with what I would say is the worst ability in the game, Platform. You know, it's kind of a meme to put Platform in F tier, but it's actually not really an F tier. I don't think there's any F tier abilities. Every ability can be used for something, so even though everyone wants Platform in F tier, it's not really F tier. It's a bad ability, but it's not super bad. You can use it in some situations if there's people hitting the ball right in front of you, or if somebody pulls the ball away from you and they're about to hit it back into you. There's some situations where Platform can get you out of. So it's not F tier, but it's still bad. And then for C tier, I'm gonna have to go with Super Jump. Super Jump's kind of like Platform. It can only get you out of some situations. You just go up in the air, and that's about it. So yeah, not a very good ability. So every other ability on this list is going to be at least decent. Most abilities are at least decent. They can be used for some stuff, but only a few of them are going to be really good or overpowered. So going into B tier, I'm going to have to do Dash first, because Dash is pretty good in a lot of scenarios. You can just dash out of the way if there's a fight too close to you and you're pinched in a corner, or you could dash into somebody right when they're about to hit the ball and then hit it back at them really fast and catch them off guard. And then I would probably put Swap right under Dash. I'd say that Dash is a little bit better than Swap. Swap is kind of a gamble, and it doesn't really do that much. It's just a weird ability. You literally just swap places with somebody. Like, it can be a little useful against unexperienced players, like if you hit the ball at somebody and swap with them at the same time, and then they go to where you are, so the ball's way closer to them. Like, it can catch people off guard sometimes, but it's really just not that good. And then under Swap, I would probably put Telekinesis. Telekinesis is pretty much just a worse freeze, because you can't hit the ball when somebody uses Telekinesis. But with freeze, at least you can freeze it in front of yourself, and then if the ball's red, you can slam it into somebody. But Telekinesis literally just freezes the ball and then shoots at someone random, and you can't really control when it shoots. So Telekinesis is just like a worse freeze. And then under Telekinesis, I'll put Quad Jump. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just have 4 jumps instead of 2. It's the definition of a bottom tier decent ability. It's at the bottom of B tier. Well, Waypoint is at the bottom of B tier, if I'm gonna be honest. Waypoint, you put a sword down and you can teleport back to it at any time, but it's like the other teleporting abilities, except you can only teleport back to that sword. So people could just camp out your sword, and if you teleport back to it, they could just pull the ball and slam it into you. Like, Waypoint's just not that good. It's in the bottom 3 in the whole game. Okay, so we're gonna be moving up to A tier now. Sorry that I did B tier in kind of a weird order. I did the best B tiers and then the worst B tiers. But we're gonna start A tier off with the worst A tiers. So the worst A tier, I would say, is Blink. You pretty much just have 3 little teleports. It's good in a lot of situations, like if somebody tries to pull bait you, you can blink backwards a couple of times to get your block back before the ball hits you. You can blink towards people and catch them off guard the same way you would with Dash. Blink it's good, but it's at the bottom tier of the good abilities. And then a little bit better than Blink, I would say, is Freeze. Freeze is literally just a better telekinesis. If the ball's getting slammed at you and your block's on cooldown for whatever reason, you can just freeze the ball right in front of you. If the ball is red, you can just slam it into somebody before it unfreezes. And if somebody has infinity or something in your face, you can just freeze the ball and run away while their infinity runs down. Freeze is kinda good, but obviously there's way better abilities. So up next, I would have to say is Shadow Step, and then Wind Cloak, and then Phase Bypass, and then Thunder Dash. All these abilities are pretty similar, with a few exceptions. So Shadow Step, you pretty much just turn into a shadow and run around fast for a second, and that's it. Wind Cloak is the same thing as Shadow Step, except obviously you don't look like a shadow, but you can also have a jump boost. Wind Cloak gives you a speed and a jump boost. Shadow Step just makes you look like a shadow and you have a speed boost. And then Phase Bypass is Wind Cloak, but another tier up, because you get a jump boost, a speed boost, but then you also teleport back to where you were at the beginning of the ability. So you can throw people off in even more ways with Phase Bypass than Wind Cloak, and you can throw people off with Wind Cloak even better than Shadow Step. And then Thunder Dash, I would say, is the best dashing ability, because you literally teleport just like Blink, except way farther. And the reason Blink is at the bottom of A tier is because the teleports are so small, like you only blink over to the side like 5 feet. Thunder Dash, you literally dash like a third of the way across the map. So if you're in a fight with somebody, you can dash backwards and bait out their block, or you can dash forwards if you guys are far away from each other, and then slam it into them before they even have time to react and block. So all of the dashing and speed abilities, I would say this is a good order. And then next up on the list is Invisibility. And the only reason invisibility is this high is because it can save you in so many situations. But there's obviously way better abilities that can actually get you kills as well. So even though invisibility can save you in tons of situations, it doesn't really get you kills. So if you're playing ranked or something, trying to get kills and placement to get as many points as possible, invisibility is literally just the hide in a corner ability. It'll keep you alive, but you can't use it in duos because of stand down the whole time, and you can't use it in the stand down in a free-for-all because it's just disabled. So it's pretty good in a lot of situations, but it doesn't really get you kills, and you can't use it in stand down. So next up on the list, better than invisibility, I would say is Phantom. This is one of the higher A tier abilities. This is a pretty good ability. If you don't know how Phantom works, it's one of the newer abilities. You literally just teleport behind somebody, whoever you're looking at, and it makes them slow. That's it. You teleport behind somebody and then that person is slow for a few seconds. And the only reason it's a pretty good ability is because the recharge on the ability is so fast. You can literally teleport behind somebody and make them slow like every 5 or 6 seconds. Phantom has the quickest cooldown of any ability by far, other than the individual Blink teleports that only teleport you like 5 feet. But Blink is kind of good because you can have 3 of them at once. But yeah, I'd put Phantom near the top of A tier because you can use it so frequently and just teleport to the other side of the map and slow somebody down so then they can't chase you. If you're in a bad situation, just teleport to somebody else, then they're slow and you can get away from them as well, and then you can literally use Phantom again right after that, teleport to the other side of the map again, and then that person's slow, they can't chase you. So Phantom, you can just get out of situations all the time and slow people down every 5 seconds. Next up on the list is Raging Deflect. Raging Deflect is one of the best A tier abilities. It's literally a second block, but you hit the ball way faster than a regular block. So all the trick plays that you can make with a regular block, like just turning around real quick and hitting it to somebody to your side or hitting it to someone behind you, if you do that with Raging Deflect, you're even more likely to get the kill. Also, if your block gets baited by pool or something, Raging Deflect deflect is literally just a second block that you slam into somebody way faster, so you can kill pool players sometimes with raging deflect and save yourself during the process. And then for the top A tier ability, I would say is Rapture. It's just like raging deflect, except it curves the ball into the air, which throws people off a lot more often, in my opinion. Some people argue that raging deflect might hit the ball a little bit faster, and it has a little bit less noise and animation, but any good player at the game knows that they both have a noise and animation, and it's pretty obvious when you're gonna get raging deflected or raptured. You can see the animation happening when the ball's being hit, but Rapture I think just works a little bit better, because if you're really close to someone and it just curves right over someone's head and slams into them, you can get a lot of early game kills with Rapture, especially against worse players. And once again, it's just a second block, so if you get your block baited in some way, you have a backup. And then starting off with the worst S tier ability, I would have to say is Pull. And the only reason Pull is the worst S tier ability is because it can be countered by tons of stuff. If somebody pulls you, you can just Rapture it back or raging deflect it back if your block is baited. You can also just go invisible if it's not stand down. You can phantom to somebody else across the map. You can thunder dash away from it. You can freeze the ball. You can blink off to the side a couple times while you get your block back. Tons of abilities can counter Pull, but the reason Pull's an S tier is because players that actually know how to use Pull aren't going to use it on you when you have an ability. So everyone goes, oh, Pull can be countered by almost every ability. But yeah, people aren't going to use Pull on you when you have your ability though. They're gonna wait until you absolutely need your ability and you use it, and then they'll kill you with Pull right afterwards. So yeah, Pull, it's in S tier, but there are a couple S tiers that are better. Next up on the list is Force Field. Now, these top couple abilities, a lot of people don't like them. A lot of people hate Pull. A lot of people hate Force Field. But the reason Force Field is an S tier is because it can get you out of tons of crazy situations. If people have you backed into a corner and they're slamming the ball super fast, you don't want them to turn to you and just slam the ball into you. You can pop Force Field and just walk right through them. Plus, when the ball's going super fast around the map, especially if the ball is lagging, it's nice to just pop Force Field and walk in the middle so you don't have any chance of dying from the ball lagging. Most likely, the ball will bounce off you and go to someone behind you and give you a free kill. Plus, you can get right in people's faces, literally jump on top of them while you're clashing, hitting the ball back and forth. And if you're literally on top of them with Force Field, unless they're using a crazy fast auto clicker and they get lucky, the Force Field's going to win. So a lot of people hate on Force Field and they go, all it does is block the ball for you. If you were good, you could just block the ball yourself. Like, no, you don't understand how the game is at high ranks, clearly. You can't always just block the ball yourself. Force Field is super good because sometimes you're on a 100 ping server and you can't control that. Sometimes the ball's lagging super hard. You can't control that. Sometimes people are fighting right in front of you, and if they slam the ball to you, there is literally no time to react, especially if it's lagging or you're on high ping. Force Field isn't just, oh, you can block the ball with skill. Why do you need Force Field to block it for you? Like, Force Field is really good in a lot of situations where you can't just block the ball yourself. And just so you guys know, I don't hate on any abilities whatsoever. The only thing I hate is people hacking. So you can use any ability you want. I don't hate Pull users. I don't hate Force Field users. I don't even hate invisibility users or freeze users. You can use whatever you want. But for the top S tier ability, I'm going to have to say Reaper. And the reason Reaper is the second best ability in the game is because it can counter everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. If somebody is running at you with Force Field, you just run away. Especially if you have multiple kills early on and you get really fast with Reaper. Like if somebody pulls the ball on you, you can literally just run backwards backwards, unless the ball's going super fast, you can just run backwards and have the ball follow you around if you're faster than the ball or the same speed as the ball. And then you can really get some free kills by doing that. If you're around the same speed as the ball or faster than it, you can just run around, and then just slam it in anybody's face that you want while you're running around super fast with the ball. Reaper can be used in tons of different ways. In a final 1v1, you can jump and run towards people, and then you'll get in a super fast clash, and then you can jump, run away, and then if they're auto-clicking or trying to click really fast in the clash, when you jump away, they'll probably get their block baited because you guys won't be so close anymore, and then once you hit it back from like 20-30 feet away when you jump away, you'll obviously get the kill and win. So Reaper is just one of the best abilities in the game, literally the second best in my opinion. And then for the very final ability, Infinity, the most overpowered and the most pay-to-win ability in the game. If I were to ever host a tournament, Infinity would be the only ability that I ban, because not only is it overpowered, it's obviously super pay to win. When Infinity first came out, it cost over 11,000 Robux to get, and now you can get it from RNG crates during the Halloween event, and it takes on average even more than 11,000 Robux to get from these RNG crates. But if you don't know what Infinity is, I'm pretty sure most people do, and most people know that it's the most overpowered. It's literally Force Field, Freeze, and Raging Deflect all in one. You pop Infinity and it makes you completely immune to dying, just like Force Field. But instead of the ball bouncing off of you, it freezes near you and follows you around. And then you can just Raging Deflect it back at anyone that you want. So if you just run in the middle of the map with Infinity popped while the ball's going super fast, as soon as it goes to you, you can just look at anyone you want, slam, easy kill. Infinity is the best ability in the game, and even though Reaper can counter everything including Infinity, Infinity is just the best. And honestly, I would love to hear an argument against Infinity being the best. Like, I don't know, maybe Reaper is just about as good as Infinity, but you have to get those early on kills with Reaper. That's the only reason I think Infinity is the best and not Reaper. If you just started off fast with Reaper, then Reaper would probably be the best. But if you don't get a lucky kill early on without an ability, which is what you have to do with Reaper, you literally have to get a kill early on with no ability, which isn't always that easy, especially against good players. They're not going to just die from you hitting the ball into them without any ability to catch them off guard. So yeah, if you can get some kills with Reaper, it's up there in the SS tier. But yeah, this is my tier list. Let me know what you guys think down below. Oh dang, that took so long that I disconnected. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below about all of these abilities on my tier list. If you think I got something wrong, just comment down below what you think. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you all in the next one very soon. Peace out, everybody.